another Tuesday without Gabe. No worries. It'll all be fine. So we don't have Gabe, but no worries. We still have me, even though I know you were all here for Gabe. So I spent way too much time, again, too much screen time, deciding how I think the Sims neighborhoods should go. So I watch a lot of Sims streams and YouTube videos, and one of my favorite streamers, I'm sure that if you are watching this, you've also watched her, Kelsey Dangerous. She did a rags to riches, and her character was living in Henford on Bagley, and she decided that that meant that the main city was Windenburg, and she said that that just made sense in her mind, and that kind of, while I was bored one day, I kind of remembered that and decided that I would like to decide where in my mind all of the neighborhoods are. So I put a PowerPoint together of too much time on my hands, but now I present it to you in place of the adventures of Pam and Gabe. It's just the weird things Pam does when she's left alone. Okay, so I have a mod that makes all of the worlds playable. I've got an asterisk here because the new pack for werewolves doesn't work yet with Zerbo's mod for all worlds are playable. So I have an asterisk there. And then a double asterisk there because this is Batu and it is literally out of this world and there's no playable lots on it. So it doesn't count. But this is if I had to insert that on its own. If you could play all of the lots, this is what the main screen looks like when you open the game. It would make everything a residential world. I have all the packs. Yes. So this is what the screen looks like when you go to play. I then decided to organize them by temperature. So Mount Komorebi is cold, especially if you live up in the top of the mountain, literally always snow. Then we've got these hot weather places. Tartosa gets cold in the winter, but it doesn't ever get snow. So I thought that might be, it just makes it a hot world, right? There's no snow. 4 distinct seasons. Haven't played a full year yet with Moonwood Mill. But I believe when I started to get to I did start in the summer. So when I started to get to the winter, it was getting cold and I believe there was snow. I've never just played in Magnolia Promenade, but I'm assuming it has 4 seasons. I play a lot in Newcrest. It has all the seasons. I think at some point in some legacy challenges, and I do believe it does get cold. I can't, now that I've done this, I can't remember if it gets snow. But also, do vampires really get cold? Do we care? Do we even care why I've organized these this way? No. Let's get to the good part. There's Batu down there. So I created 2 hemispheres. Roll with me on this one. It was based on the colors in the icons and the sky colors. So I do have a second hemisphere. Do you see there's more oranges and brightness? Okay, so we'll go back. So hemisphere A, because it's a Sims world and maybe their planet is flat, maybe their planet is shaped like a plumb bob. I won't lie to you, one iteration of this did have me trying to make it shaped like a 3-dimensional plumb bob. Again, too much time on my hands. Anyways, so we have these towns. So I believe that Newcrest and Windenburg, in my mind, have the same temperatures. It rains a lot in these three places. This is Willow Creek. So these three, it's always raining. It's got all four seasons. It's always raining. Um, so I decided that these three are kind of the main center, and then you would off spurt from there. I took Kelsey's thought that Windenburg is the city for Henford on Bagley, and I put them, they connect to each other. This is Brightchester, so I figured maybe the university, my dog might bark in a second, maybe the university is, what connects Willow Creek and Windenburg. They're not necessarily next to each other. Maybe you take the steamboat in Willow Creek and you travel on over to Windenburg and all of their water and islands, right? So this was my thought process. Then since Henford on Bagley's got a lot of woods, I put Granite Falls. It's a vacation destination, but you can live there if you change it and you have Zerbo's mod. But also, we know where in the world our vacation spots are when we go away. Yeah, that's the neighbor my dog doesn't like, so we might. Oh, he's a good girl. He's a good girl, not barking. Yeah, good girl. Um, but it also helps with this is woods and camping. I feel like a lot of this side of Brightchester is the fancy uppity side, like it has a flow. So we've got woods and camping. Something about quaint little thatched roofs reminded me of, I don't know, Harry Potter. And so I put the magic world there. And the rundown old mills, it just feels like the further you get from the city, that makes a lot of sense that industrial places would start to come down and be a really great place for a bunch of, spellcasters, werewolves, and vampires to kind of go hide out. Literally called Forgotten Hollow. So it's the furthest away from civilization. I've decided that Windenburg and Willow Creek are quote unquote civilization. Um, Newcrest, you can build it up. I've built it up so many times. It's a normal town. Then we've got your promenade, which I just kind of imagine that Newcrest and Magnolia Promenade are kind of the same thing. But because Magnolia Promenade is for shopping, that is what connects us to San Myshuno, the actual city. So we go downtown. So we're getting less residential to more built up, right? And then we've got our city. You see how the colors are getting darker? Again, and they're in line with these dark colors. Again, too much time on my hands. And then we have Del Sol Valley because Los Angeles. So I'm thinking, if this is LA proper, like the city part, maybe this is Beverly Hills where it's still kind of city, but more residential. And there's not very many places to live, right? So in my mind, Del Sol Valley is in the valley of San Myshuno, right? San Myshuno has that one location that's kind of rich, and so maybe that heads over this way to Del Sol Valley, and that's why there's only like 4 people who live there and then some nightclubs, right? These plumb bobs, these are the connectors. This green plumb bob connects Hemisphere A to Hemisphere B to the other green plumb bob. Red plumb bob connects Hemisphere A to Hemisphere B on this side. Oh, and do I have maps for that? So, Hemisphere A, we have Willow Creek, Windenburg, Henford on Bagley, Brightchester, Granite Falls, Moonwood Mill, Forgotten Hollow, Glimmerbrook, Newcrest, Magnolia Promenade, San Myshuno, Del Sol Valley. Hemisphere B. Again, didn't want to go north, south, east, west, just A and B. So, you're looking purples and oranges. Oh, completely blanking on the name of the jungle expansion pack. Salvadora, that one. It's my newest pack. Well, besides werewolves. I fought for a really long time buying the jungle pack. And so many Sims people love all of the build mode items and things. And I never went on vacation. So I was like, why would I live there? Insert me getting the all neighborhoods are livable. And I got it. So, and it's actually a really fun vacation and it's way more fun than Granite Falls. And I should have had it the whole time. Forgive me, jungle vacation. So, playing there, it's always hot. There's no snow, always hot, very jungle tropical, right? So then I figured maybe somewhere in the tropics, right? Sulani is always tropical weather, right? Never any snow, lots of water. So maybe this jungle is inside, there's always a jungle, like in Hawaii, like the inner parts is kind of jungle, and then the outer part is all the beaches. I've connected them. Mountain, mountain. We going with this? Look, mountains. And Tartosa has lots of water that is swimmable with waterfalls, just like Sulani. These are neighbors. Maybe we're working like very inner island to the island chain to the outside of the big island, right? Okay. Then we have a harbor and a bay. Water, all water, right? Okay, Brindleton Bay and Evergreen Harbor, maybe they're next to each other or they're back to back. Maybe I could move this one down and maybe it's surrounding Tartosa, right? But my colors needed it to go this way. Quite frankly, I think I should flip them now that I'm looking at it, just based on the color. No, you can't see the world map yet. I clicked. I didn't mean to click. So we've got Brindleton Bay. Brindleton Bay is a little bit more temperate, and it does tend to get cooler. So I did connect it here to Mount Komorebi. So, but it is kind of like up and off. And I'm thinking just because it's colder. And it's not the bottom, not up on the mountain, has 4 distinct seasons. They are cooler. Um, so I felt like these two are connected. It's off kind of to the side like that because Mount Komorebi you can get to from Brindleton Bay. You can't get there from Evergreen Harbor. You have to drive through the neighboring town. Picking up what I'm putting down. So you can't get from Evergreen Harbor directly to Strangerville, but you can if you go through Tartosa. Look at the colors. I mean, the colors are exact, right? And Strangerville, though warm, and on the hotter side, not, oh, it does, like your Sims will need to change into their cold weather outfits in the winter every once in a while, even though there isn't any snow. And then we have Oasis Springs, which I don't know that my Sims ever go into their winter outfits when they are there. So we've got that. And then it's like deserty, and we kind of start to abandon. And I mean, you could flip it the other way. Again, this is my mind, right? To put Strangerville more on the outside, kind of like how in these I've got the sketchy, who knows what's happening. That was my cat. I was worried about the dog doing something, but my cat just broke a glass or something in the kitchen. Cool. Like I put these weird mystery places with who knows what's happening, but this hemisphere is kind of all whatever it is anyways. You've got Nox roaming around at people's doors and Olive Tinker just inviting herself in once she becomes a teenager. And then you got, oh my gosh, what's her face, who calls you all the time and is like, give me one simoleon? Like, no, leave me alone. So this hemisphere is a weird hemisphere anyways, right? And who knows what's going up with Mr. Laurent there. So, eh, this is our weird section. And then Nancy, Nancy Landgrab, and her weird. I wish that we had more information as to how Johnny Zest was related to the Landgrabs. I'm thinking Nancy's former friend, her son. I don't know, but it's always hot there. So now we come to the worldview where I connect these plumb bobs together, and I'm going to kind of twist and turn things. This is all, you know, uh, middle school history map that you're looking at here, right? So here's the worldview one, where we've connected the red plumb bobs. Okay, so in my mind, Del Sol Valley and its colors. Up on the hills, see there's palm trees. Up on the hills somewhere, you got jungle. You go up past Judith Ward's really hideous home and you find yourself in the jungle, which then leads you to the other hemisphere, right? Like, so we could think of these as like an equator. This is maybe an equator, or maybe this is, the former land bridge of Russia to Alaska, only warm. Okay, so we've got worldview one. This is how they're all connected. So, if you're going to go from Forgotten Hollow to Mount Komorebi, you've got a journey. You've got to travel, through all these places and then up and over. But if you're in San Myshuno and you want to go to the beach, I mean, it's not a bad drive. It's 4 towns away, right? The world, these are all towns, right? Because there's neighborhoods inside towns. So it's only 4 towns away. It's all one. It's all one country. It's Sims country. These are just, I don't know why I've got hemispheres and worlds. But anyways, then we've got worldview two, where I've connected the green plumb bob. And in my mind, Willow Creek and all of its rain is just, one cloud away from being cold and snowy. It's just like a little bit warmer. So in my mind, this is how it would go. Actually, if you listen to my story about going from Forgotten Hollow to Mount Komorebi, you're not going to take this way. You're going to go through here to Willow Creek, right? And it's only a few towns away. Anyways, thank you for humoring me. And this is my what I did with my time off. So, I appreciate you. All right. Until next time, me nerding out on The Sims.